The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I'm here every Friday at 3 o'clock. If you miss an episode, you can go to my website, themainstreetcode.com, and see all my YouTube episodes. Or if you're driving in your car and you want to hear some past episodes, you can turn on Apple or Spotify and listen to my podcast. And when we talk about our code, we talk about choice, organization, direction, and education. And we help hundreds of advisors across the United States, accountants, attorneys, other insurance professionals, with their needs in life insurance, disability, long-term care, and annuities. And we help clients and people like you and a lot of small businesses and large businesses with their complex insurance solutions. And the other thing we talk about all the time is you need to have your own financial team of experts. And if you don't have one, let us help you put one together. I work very well as a quarterback in handing off to other people what they need to do. And I want to talk about this week, what I did. I was in St. Louis for 3 days this week, and I want to tell you how impactful that was. I went to a meeting with 12 different insurance carriers with all of their chief underwriting officers. This meeting was humongous. I had 3 or 4 different situations with people who were declined coverage, and there's some very big policies, and I got to sit with the chief underwriters from 5 or 6 different companies out of the 10 that gave me offers on all these policies that other policyholders had been declined before. Some of the insurance coverage was as high as $5 and $10 million, and they couldn't get the coverage that they needed to protect their legacy until I came on board. Now, the importance of this is humongous for you buying insurance products. And the reason it's important is because with COVID, with everything else, with the internet, with the Google, everybody thinks they can go online and buy insurance. And A, you don't know what you're getting. Many times you might be getting a car without wheels on it. B, you may not get the coverage you want because of your health issue or your financial issues, that are undisclosed. And that person on the phone, if you get somebody on the phone, or if you're just dealing with a robot, or what do they call those bots on the computer, may make a decision and prevent you from getting insurance elsewhere, and that bot is not going to tell you where else to go or how else to go. And even people that do wholesaling like myself, wholesaling meaning we represent 30 different companies and other insurance agents give us business besides people coming to us for insurance. Even other wholesalers don't go that extra mile to sit with an underwriter because everybody's electronic and everybody's remote and everybody's here and there. But to have the availability to have 10 different companies compete for your business in the room was so big, so humongous for me and for my business and for my clients mainly, that I just can't. The best meeting I ever had. 65 years old. I've had meetings my whole life. This was the best one. This was so impactful to the many people I serve and the many agents I serve. And that's why you work with somebody like me. And today we're very fortunate to have with guests with us, Jeffrey Lafazan. How do I pronounce your last name?
Lafazan.
Lafazan, I'm sorry. I met Jeffrey. Jeffrey is a seasoned loan officer at GoRascal. And Jeff, I want you to tell people how they can reach you and everything else. But most importantly, you want to work with somebody who's an expert in their area. And that's what I'm trying to emphasize here. And Jeff is an expert at getting you loans as a loan officer. Can you talk a little bit about yourself, tell people how to reach you, and tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, thanks so much for having me on, Neil. It's a pleasure. You can reach me by Jeffrey L, as in Lafazan, at GoRascal.com. And what I do is I talk to every individual and treat them as if they were a family member. Understand all the ramifications of their life, what they want, what they're looking for, then examine the financial aspect of all what they have, and then guide them. Because a lot of times somebody will want a very expensive house, but the truth is they really can't afford it.
Right.
And so I try to give everybody the best advice. Sometimes I send them away to other banks, and I don't make a commission, but sometimes it's so clear that they should go somewhere else. There's very few things a broker can't do, very few. But like a home equity line where the bank pays all the closing costs and gives you prime, lower than prime for life, that doesn't exist in the normal world. It's like a lost leader.
Right.
So when somebody qualifies for that, I encourage them to go to a local credit union for that loan because it's the best advice for them.
Right, exactly.
And I hope that by giving everybody the best advice, always, that it ensures my phone will ring more often.
Right. Well, I mean, with the interest rates coming up the last couple of years, it takes an individual to be creative and to understand your needs. Because I know, so many young people today looking for their first home, it's such a challenge with the way interest rates are. So, and if you just, I know a lot of young people, who don't have maybe parents or it's their first time going, they go to their local bank, or they go here and they go there, and they get a no and they get a no, and then they don't know what to do. That's why you need to work with somebody like Jeffrey. So tell me your difference, how you make a difference to people and how that works.
Yeah, no, it is true. In the last few years, it's been incredibly challenging for everybody to find a house. Even if you're qualified and you find a house, there could be 5 other people like you grabbing it from you. So what's the tactic in that area? And once again, when I examine a person's full picture, I can give them the best advice. So for people that can no longer afford a house they thought they could, there are choices. Buying a house and putting a tenant in the downstairs for a few years is a choice. Buying a house that needs a lot of renovation, so you get it way cheaper and you end up with a house that is fixed up the way you like. That could end up saving you money in the long run, even though it's a lot of work and a lot of hassle. But there are a lot of alternatives. I'm a big believer in people living together. The Times has written a few articles on it, and I've written about it myself. Single moms with a kid is so challenging to live that way. Putting a few people together in a household where they can live together, but even with the segregated privacy, these are all options for people that once could not afford a house that might afford a house now.
And maybe sometimes being creative with the seller and negotiating a deal maybe where the seller holds part of the note or something. It could be like a creative solution for people, correct?
That is 100%. If somebody doesn't have a large enough down payment, the seller could hold a small second loan, 100%. There are other things to be done also. You can negotiate with the seller what's called a seller concession, where the seller is actually going to give you a credit at closing for your closing costs, and they get put into your mortgage. So he's not really giving you anything, but he's cooperating with you.
But if you just walk into a bank, or you just see a realtor, or you just go online and look at MIB and whatever it's not MIB, multi-listing MLS. I'm sorry, I don't know all your acronyms. You're in a business. I got a million acronyms in my business. My favorite one's MIB. It's not Men in Black. It's the Medical Information Bureau. But people get that confused. So anyhow, with the multiple listings to Realtor.com and this and that, and, I see a house, I want to go buy it, and then all of a sudden I can't afford it, I can't afford it, I'm not pre-qualified. Today you got to get pre-qualified in a lot of homes you're looking at, don't you?
Everybody should, because it is a challenging market, so you want to be perceived as the strongest buyer if there's more than one buyer, and you want to trust, sellers want to trust that you're going to close and that you're going to be able to finish the transaction and get the house.
You're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success, and Jeffrey Lafazan is my guest. And Jeffrey, how can I get a hold of you?
My cell phone?
Yep.
It's 516-375-3943. And Jeffrey L. at GoRascal.com. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. And if you want to get a hold of me, Neil Himmelstein, the best way is reach me by phone, 631-647-4694. We're going to be right back after a quick commercial break. Thank you. Welcome back to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. And before the break, we had a nice discussion with Jeffrey Lafazan, who's a seasoned loan officer, a very creative guy, and in helping you. Listen, I believe in working with professionals when you go to do things. Wouldn't you agree, Jeffrey? I mean, you want to work with individuals, not robots, not the Google machine. You want to work with real people who are going to help you. And in this buying market, which we keep hearing, even though interest rates are higher, which is a challenge to get a loan, the buyers are at a situation where they can almost pick, the sellers are at a situation where they can almost pick their buyers. The realtors are also very selective in who they're going to show the house because they want it to close and they don't want to waste time because there's limited houses and these limitations put a big stress on realtors as well as mortgage brokers because, you may have pre-qualified somebody. So the way to work this market works today, if you're looking for a home, a lot of realtors won't even show you a house.
That's right, Neil. It is great. Realtors want to be certain, and there's a new changing dynamic as well.
Right.
With the commission structure. Everybody's heard about this big NAR settlement, and that now the separation of commissions. So buyers now are going to be sometimes think they're going to have to pay the commission.
Right.
And I want buyers to be aware they don't have to. They can, but they don't have to. There is still the majority of deals out there, sellers will pay and compensate buyers for the commission the way they always have. So you don't have to necessarily pay. But the agents don't want to work with you unless you're solid. And there's a new thing now. They can't even take you out to a house without getting a signature from you.
Right.
So there's new disclosures, and that signature is on a disclosure telling them that they represent you rather than the seller or whatever their disclosure is. Each one is unique. But what's happening is you want to get pre-qualified before you meet the realtor, and therefore the realtor feels you are of value, that she knows if he or she, if they find you the property that works for you, that you're going to be able to make an offer, make a deal, sign a contract, and close, and everybody gets paid. That's what they really want, certainty. You want to work
with a realtor who can work with your mortgage person, who can put you in the right situation. You want to have a team. When you have to attack this when you're buying something today, just like insurance. But I'm just saying when you have to attack it from the best position if you want to get that house. It's competitive, right?
It's very competitive.
I'm competing with somebody next door who maybe has better credit, who maybe makes more money, who loves that house, but I love that house. But how am I going to get it? I need to have and you need to have, as a mortgage specialist, the realtor on the same side of the desk with you so you can work together with the client to give them that home.
That is true. That is very true. Now, many sellers are asking the buyers to sign a contract without an appraisal, without a mortgage contingency, and without even doing a home inspection, basically by a blind. Now, if you've walked through the house and you're a contractor for your trade and you've done that for 30 years and you've looked carefully at the house, you're one of the very few people I would trust to make it, do something like that. And everybody is pressured into that because sellers say they want this. And the realtor, if he's your friend, the realtor is not going to press you into something that puts your money at risk and your life at risk.
Right.
By possibly losing a down payment or buying a house that really you shouldn't have bought.
Yeah. So, in summation, it's really a team effort to make it work for you. And you need to work with people. I keep saying it because it applies to my business as well. People want to buy online. They think they're going to buy blind, and they get disappointed, and they give up, or they end up making mistakes that they pay for later in life, where they either overpay or get the wrong thing because they think they know everything, because you know why? The Google machine told them that, right?
It's true. Listen, technology can point you in the right direction, but it cannot substitute for experience.
Yeah. And I find working with mortgage companies, now, I like working with people like Jeff, and I'll tell you why. Businesses go through cycles. All businesses. I happen to be on a nice cycle right now. Okay, I'm on a motorcycle, right? 5 years ago, mortgage companies they were on like speedboats. I mean, they had interest rates were nothing, and money was flowing, and they couldn't keep enough people to write the loans. They couldn't even process loans. It was just too overbearing. It was just overload. All of a sudden, interest rates went up, and mortgage companies and I had a solution for mortgage companies that nobody listened to me at the time, and it was right during COVID, and I'll explain it in a minute. So the cycle. So why am I saying this? The people that are in it from the bad times and the good times, and that are still there and still being professionals, that's who you want to work with, not the new guys starting out. Hey, they don't know. They just don't. It's like a fine wine. Jeffrey, you're a fine wine. I'm not saying you're old. You're a fine wine, and I want to work with professionals that are fine wines. I don't want to work with somebody who, I just figured this out, and here, my nephew, he just went into the business. No, this is something you need to know and understand: how to get the loan right, how to get the right house, how to get the loan right, how to buy the right insurance. It all comes into play by having a financial team of people that are going to work for you.
Absolutely.
And everybody is unique. Nobody is exactly like, it's not cookie cutter. And that's what everybody wants you to believe. Everybody's perfect health. Everybody's this, everybody's that. Everybody makes $1 million a year. No, not the case.
You're absolutely right.
There's no cookie cutter.
There is none. And everybody gets a different test from me. When I look at them and I speak with them, and if they're honest and we see all the documentation, there's different advice for everybody.
Right.
And something I can give foundationally for all people that want to buy a house in the future: go out and take a look on what you like, and they show you right on the website. They show you what a monthly payment would be. Okay, and that's not what I'm telling you to look at, but just use it as an example. Let's say it's $4,000 a month.
Right.
What I encourage people to do is open up a separate bank account, pay their rent on the first of the month,
yep,
and pay the difference, what the mortgage is versus their rent, and pay it into that savings account every month.
Yep.
If you can't do that for 6 months in a row, you shouldn't be signing a contract to buy a house.
Right. That's a good point. So anyhow, on to another subject. Working with people. And let's say you like Jeff and you use Jeff and he did a good job for you. Don't forget his name. You have a friend looking for us. You can't forget, it's very important. And family. And I tell this story all the time. I was at a function, and there's some people there, and there's a whole bunch of people at this function, and they go up to this couple and they go, "Wow, you look good. I mean, you don't seem stressed. You don't, 5 years ago you were stressed. You're this, you're that, the family, the kids, but everything seems good. What happened?" Well, I always tell them, well, they met me, and and I met this guy and blah, blah, blah. I got my finances in order and we got the right insurance and I'm so happy. And, well, you know, that relative or friend, well, always comes back with the same question. Well, why didn't you tell me? So don't keep me a secret. Don't keep Jeff a secret. If you have a family member looking for a house and needs a mortgage or has some questions about their insurance, don't keep it a secret. Don't forget to call us. And, you know, to our detriment, any professional, we deal with a lot of people. And quite frankly, maybe sometimes we do follow up and we send an email, we do a conversation, and people forget about us. So I'm saying, don't forget the people that work well with you. That's my message for the day. And Jeff, how can I get a hold of you? Just one more time.
Thank you so much, Neil. It's Jeffrey L. at GoRascal.com, and call me on my cell at 516-375-3943.
And for all of you know that or don't know, if you want to reach me, Neil Himmelstein, 631-647-4694, or visit me at themainstreetcode.com. If you have any questions at all about anything that we talk about in this program, call me. Whether it's insurance, investments, or I need an attorney, I need an accountant, I needed this, I needed that, call me. I'm here to help. I don't charge when we initially, Jeff, do you charge?